Okay, good afternoon. I would like to thank each of you for joining me at Peace Community Center's second annual State of the Organization Address. My name is Denice Randle, and I am the Executive Director of Peace Community Center. This afternoon, I have the privilege of sharing highlights from the successes and challenges presented in the last year and share our vision for the future direction of Peace Community Center as we transition into the return to in-person services for our scholars in our after-school programs in grades 2 through 12, college and career. Thank you again for your participation tonight. I would like to acknowledge a few guests that we have registered for tonight's virtual event. Thank you to Peace Community Center's Board of Directors, Pastor John of Peace Lutheran Church and Peace Lutheran Church members, Senator Tawana Nobles, Holly Bamford Hunt, former interim executive director of Peace Community Center, Ruth Tollefson, Teresa Mannix, John Korsmo, Pastor Megan Fire, and our Peace Community Center staff, employees, and volunteers. Thank you all so very much for your presence tonight. As I previously stated, one of the main goals and objectives this afternoon is to be able to share, as we are transitioning out of the pandemic, what was the impact? How did we serve community throughout the pandemic? And then what is our future direction moving forward? I would like to share that traditionally our goal at Peace Community Center is that we have the opportunity to serve 300 to 330 students annually. As we think about what we were able to do during the pandemic with students attending a virtual program throughout the entire year after school, given the fact that students were in a virtual program during the school day, my team worked really, really hard to make sure that what we offer as far as social emotional strategies and learning, our academic tutoring and support, and our STEAM enrichments were able to be transitioned into a virtual experience for our scholars. And my team just did a really fantastic job of really learning the platforms, really identifying the different strategies to connect and lean in with students. And so while we didn't achieve that 300 goal, our target goal, we were able to serve 91 students consistently throughout the year last year through our virtual after-school programming. I am so incredibly grateful. We had community volunteers who provided 81 hours of service. We had 233 resource bags that were prepared by staff members and hand delivered to scholars. We had our AmeriCorps program team members provide over 2,300 hours of service to our scholars and families. And more than 2,723 phone calls, texts, and emails were made to families, letting them know how much we valued them, we cared about them, and how much we look forward to seeing their scholars returning and engaging with our program. In addition, our graduating seniors earned over $505,000 in scholarship money. Last year, that was approximately $125,000. We are so incredibly proud of our graduating seniors and the work that they put in the midst of a pandemic to identify the scholarship funding to help them achieve their academic goals as they were enrolling in post-secondary opportunities. So as you can see, even in the midst of the pandemic, there's a lot for us to pause and to reflect on and to celebrate. But I would also say in the midst of that, what was really highlighted for us was opportunities to lean in and to engage in our community more robustly in how we are identifying the scholars that are enrolling and being a part of our program. So as we transition into this new academic year, recruitment remains a main priority for us. The partners that we are partnering with and being very strategic in that recruitment. I am very excited to reach out to the Tacoma Housing Authority and other community partners in sharing and looking to identify additional ways for us to be able to say, as families are not within the immediate kind of proximity of Peace Community Center in the housing, as affordable housing becomes a lot more scarce in our community, we want to make sure that we are incredibly intentional with creating pathways to recruit our scholars and to ensure that families know this amazing resource that is available to our students. That's a little bit of information. However, if you are new to Peace Community Center, I do want to share who we are and what we do. Peace Community Center is a nonprofit where we are serving students in grades 2 through 12 and college and career. We are housed at Hilltop, at McCarver Elementary in the Hilltop Heritage, formerly Jason Lee, and each of the high schools in Tacoma. Our mission as an organization is to create transformational educational, one second here. Try that again. Okay. Our mission is to create transformational educational experiences for Hilltop youth and families, empowering future success in college, career, and community leadership. We envision a vibrant community where youth and families are lifelong learners who use their diverse gifts to cultivate love, justice, and peace for generations to come. As an organization, we are committed to confronting systemic racism and all forms of oppression to promote personal growth, social justice, and racial reconciliation. That commitment is not only for how we show up in community, but how we engage with one another within Peace Community. Throughout the last year, we saw many opportunities for us to really strengthen our understanding of the diverse culture within Peace Community Center, how we support one another, and how we engage. Out of the racial injustices that our nation experienced, our community drew in closer together and identified different affinity groups, professional development, and resources that we have made a commitment to leaning into onboarding new staff members as we think about how we engage our diverse students and populations that we serve, and also how we engage and connect with one another in a very culturally responsive and meaningful way as colleagues within Peace Community Center. Our goal transcends into the work that we are doing with our students. It is imperative that our scholars are also developmentally appropriately being taught the leadership strategies and having the discussions and conversations that are very difficult to have, but ultimately impacts their understanding of community and how they navigate and engage the community around them. So as we transition to in-person this year, I am so excited to say that we kicked off our in-person programming. We remain committed to our after-school program schedule, which includes social emotional learning, academic tutoring and homework help, and also STEAM enrichments. So science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. I am very excited to say that we are on site at McCarver Hilltop Heritage, and we will be on site at Stadium and Henry Foss High School. In the after-school space, we are maintaining social distancing, wearing our mask, and following all of the COVID protocols that are outlined for the school district in our after-school space. This year, we are also partnering with Green Trike for the out-of-school time intermediary program that is being rolled out across the district for elementary and middle school programs. Through this partnership, we are collaborating to ensure that our students are receiving exceptional resources and have connection to a variety of community partners who are coming in and providing the STEAM enrichments. But more importantly, this is an opportunity for us to strengthen our partnership with the district and Green Trike in thinking about how we are offering and what is the professional development we are offering to ensure that we are meeting our goals as an organization. Peace Community Center remains committed to establishing academic rigor and leadership development of our scholars. That means increasing scholars' academic rigor, improving scholars' community leadership footprint, and increasing scholars' civic engagement and advocacy, in addition to having robust internship and apprenticeship programs. In order for us to achieve these goals, we know that it takes really intentional professional development for us in regards to how we are engaging and preparing and teaching our scholars. But there's also opportunity for us to network and connect with business leaders in the Hilltop, business leaders who are committed to the students we serve and working alongside us to create a pathway for students to have access to the variety of apprenticeship, internship opportunities that we know can exist and do exist for our scholars. So this year, as we return to in-person and we are focusing on that recruitment, our goal is to achieve enrollment of 300 plus students. supporting our scholars to achieve a 3.0 or higher GPA. We did see the impact of students being in virtual classrooms over the last year. And so as we think about students who come in from a variety of backgrounds, a variety of GPAs, students who are reading on grade level and students who are not there yet, we remain committed to ensuring that our students have the correct tools and resources, and we are investing in them to ensure that we are seeing that growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year for our scholars' academics. And finally, as I have been connecting with community leaders and partners, one resounding ask that I am hearing is a return to a very robust volunteer program out of Peace Community Center. I look forward to finalizing our current plan and process to increase the pathways, both virtual and in-person pathways for volunteers to connect with our students in elementary, middle, high school, and our college and career program. So I'm very excited because as I have been meeting with folks, there are new ways and new opportunities for us to connect outside of the traditional ways. And a few of those are leading small groups, being a math tutor, reading tutor, supporting with enrichments, supporting with field trips that we visit different STEAM partners. If you are currently employed by a STEAM-focused business, or if you are in a STEAM-focused career, we want our scholars to hear from you. We want our scholars to see you and to hear your journey and your story about how you were able to get into that role and what it means for you to be there. The possibilities are endless, and we are so excited to really re-engage community in a new way as we continue to move forward with the great work that comes out of really intentional partnership. Before we transition to questions, I would like to leave with some important updates and news that I would like to share in regards to Peace Community Center and some changes that we have. The first is that many of you are very familiar with the AmeriCorps program and the impact and the work that comes out of the AmeriCorps program. We have just been tremendously blessed by the AmeriCorps folks who have come through our organization and have walked alongside us. As we now transition from AmeriCorps, we are transitioning to part-time academic coaches. These part-time academic coaches are folks local right here from the hilltop of Tacoma who are making an investment to support us in supporting our students. And what I love about our transition is that most of these folks have some tie or connection to education, are interested in going into education. And this is an opportunity and a pathway for them to have a long-term relationship with Peace Community Center. So we are very excited for the work that our AmeriCorps members have done in the past, and we are very excited for the new opportunities that we have with our part-time academic success coaches. The next piece that I would like to share is that we are very excited to announce that Peace Community Center is the recipient of a federal grant that will allow us to serve BIPOC communities, high school students, with providing them the opportunities to receive a free mental health counseling before and after school. So, and on Saturdays, our goal was to make this opportunity as accessible as possible. So I am so excited to connect with high school principals this year to start getting the word out that we will be offering this service to community, to our high school seniors, for them to be able to receive mental health counseling, to be able to have a space, where a safe space on site at Peace Community Center to be able to come and connect with one another around all of the different experiences that our high school students can have. So with that, I would like to pause, and I would like to transition to Ms. Miranda, because a few of you have already shared different questions that you have. And so I'll take a moment to answer those questions.
Hi, everybody. Thank you, Denice. So I have a few questions. Oh, by the way, sorry, my name is Miranda Martins. I'm the Interim Development Director at Peace Community Center. And before this event, I left an opportunity for people to submit questions ahead of time. So I have that list of questions we'll start with, but then if you, as you're listening, have any follow-up questions or questions about anything Denice has shared so far, feel free to put it in the chat. You can either do it to the mass chat for everybody to read, or you can send me a private message, and that's fine too. So Denice, the first question that we have is, how is Peace adapting to new COVID rules?
Great question. So how we are adapting is that we are following. So we are making sure that the new rules are known to us. They are aware. We have met with school leaders. So we are very aware of what's happening during the school day, and we want that to be an extension of what we are doing in the after school programming. So 3 feet in person, 6 feet, I know we hear the 6 feet, but in person at schools, it's 3 feet, making sure that we're using the right cleaning solutions in between on the tables, and making sure that we have the airflow that's happening within the building. So we are definitely maintaining and following the COVID protocols that are happening in the school day and extending that into after school program.
Thank you. Yeah, that sounds great. Another question, how many students are we currently serving, and what does student enrollment look like this year?
Great question. So in the last year, we served 91 students. Our goal this year is to ramp up enrollment. We have a very robust recruitment plan for our elementary, middle, and high school programs, where in the fall, through the fall, we have a target number, and then by winter, we have a target number, and then spring, a target number. So our goal is to build up to the 300 that we have traditionally served throughout the year.
Okay, and another question, how are we supporting students transition back to in-person school?
Yeah, really, really authentic relationship building and connection with our scholars. So making sure that we have strong connection with our families, asking, really intentional questions around how can we be supportive? What are challenges that your scholar, anxiety that your scholar may have, and what is your scholar looking forward to? We're finding that a lot of students are more excited to return to school than necessarily having anxiety or fear about it. And so really listening to what is it that students need and what they want out of that space, and make sure we're being intentional. But most of it is really the connection with their former academic teachers, the program managers. Our scholars are so excited to see their friends and to reconnect with those relationships.
That's great, thank you. So Denice, can you speak more on the current needs of our families and the current needs of Peace Community Center?
Yes, so current needs for our families, I think any opportunity that we can continue to support families, wraparound supports with the access to affordable housing or subsidies for families is incredibly important. Additional resources to support homes, access to food or food gift cards is another area that has been highlighted by our families that has been of great need. And then for us to really show up well as community with the supports that we are offering. One of the great ways Peace Community Center can support our families is ensuring that we're doing what we say for our program. So when we say that we are going to be there present, supporting your child with their homework help, supporting them with their STEAM enrichments, families are relying on each partner to show up in the way that we say and to do that with excellence. And so it's really important that we're doing what we say we're going to provide. And at the same time, what I've heard is those additional opportunities around housing and food opportunities, access to food or grocery gift cards for families. At Peace Community Center, the pieces for us, opportunities for folks to volunteer with our businesses, connecting with us and sharing additional internship and pathways for our high school students and our middle school students is definitely of great need. We do have some employment opportunities that will be opening at Peace Community Center as well, and those will be open and live by Monday of this following week, and those are within our education program. So if you or someone you know are interested in the opportunity to work directly with the students that we serve and to make a difference in their lives, I would encourage you to look those over and apply for those various positions. 2 academic coach positions who will be serving the high school programs. We also have a program manager position that is open that is also serving high schools as well. So many great opportunities at Peace.
Yeah, that's great. So just a reminder, everybody, feel free to put questions in the chat. We're reaching the end of our pre-submitted questions, so feel free to put anything in the chat. So Denice, we had a few questions about current staff changes at Peace Community Center. Can you talk about that?
Yes, Peace Community Center is an organization, and as we know, with the AmeriCorps structure, it's designed for folks to be here for 1 to 2 years through AmeriCorps, and they usually transition out. As an organization, we are definitely committed to the retention of staff, and we are also committed to the promotion of staff internally within the organization. So as folks are here for 3 to 5 years, and oftentimes we'll have folks who either move up in their positions or they move in and they're in leadership positions for a while. Folks can outgrow those. And quite frankly, I consider that a success when folks have grown in positions and they have the opportunity to leave and take what they've grown and learned within this organization to other places and new titles and promoting opportunities. We celebrate that. And so we do have some positions where folks are transitioned out. Our high school manager is one of those positions, and that's why that one is open. We also have our development director position. Very excited for the significant contributions that our former development director made to the organization, and also for her promotion and new role that she has now. And when folks have those extended experiences within the organization within 3 to 5 years, that creates opportunities for us then to, as we've been investing in the leadership of staff members as well, for them to have opportunities to move up within the organization. So we're very proud and excited for folks who have transitioned out.
Yeah, that's great. So this is the last question for the pre-submitted questions. We had a question: has our model for outreach changed?
Has our model for outreach changed? That's a really good question. I would not say that our model for outreach has changed. I think that we are enhancing our outreach efforts and being more intentional and thoughtful. So our outreach traditionally has been within walking distance within community of Peace Community Center in the 98405 in the housing community. As that housing community has changed and has it become more gentrified, we're not seeing the population of students we serve as readily in walking distance. So when I say enhancing what we're doing, we're still going out in partnership with THA. Our goal is to be in the apartment buildings, in the area apartment buildings, and being able to connect with families and doing presentations in the common areas and letting families know we're here. Here are the resources that we're offering, bringing our resource bags that we provide to families and leaving those there. We have COVID and everything, so we have to be mindful of that. So we're still committed to the very relational piece of our outreach, if that makes sense. And so that has not changed, but we're enhancing it based on where our community is, the population that we serve.
Well, thank you for answering all of the pre-submitted questions. I don't see any additional questions in the chat. So if anybody has any lingering questions, feel free to throw those out into the chat.
Well, I'm a teacher at heart, and I think that was adequate wait time. So I just want to say to each of you, thank you so much for your time. It means a great deal to me that you are willing to, one, take time out of your day to hear how Peace Community Center is impacting community, what our goals and objectives are, our vision for the future. Thank you for your past and present partnership with us as we are investing in the hilltop of Tacoma. And please do not hesitate to reach out. I am happy to have a virtual meeting with any of you, or an in-person socially distanced coffee date, so that we can share, I can share more, or you can get to know me more. But I just want to say how much I appreciate and value each of you, and thank you so much for your time and your presence this afternoon. Thank you, Tim. Thank you all. Have a great afternoon. Thank you, Tawana.
Okay, I think I'll go ahead and end the meeting now.